Peace and blessings, and welcome to Ladyhood with your girl, Sophia. On this week's episode, we will be discussing the educated lady and why it's important for all ladies to have some type of educational background. Now, ladies, having an education is empowering. It gives you a sense of confidence and insurance on where you're heading in life. Whether you have college degrees, licenses, or certificates, all ladies should pursue some type of education to become the best version of herself. On this episode of Ladyhood, we will be joined by a couple of guests who's going to share their thoughts on this subject. So sit tight, guys. We'll be right back after this short break. On this week's icebreaker game, we're going to play a little trivia because all ladies should know a little something about everything. She should have a wealth of knowledge. So let's see how much you ladies know. Okay? All right. Question number 1. What's the rarest M&M inside the bag? Now there's many different colors in the bag. I'm not talking about Skittles now, not the fruity flavors. But from these colors, what's the rarest one, the rarest color in the M&M bag? I'll give you a second. Can you guess? Right, the brown one. The brown M&M is the rarest. Question number 2. What does WWW stand for? Now, WWW is programmed in all of our minds, but do you know what it stands for? What does WWW stand for? World Wide Web. Makes sense, right? I hope you knew that. All right, question number 3. According to Greek mythology, who was the first woman to graze the earth? Who was she? The first woman, according to Greek mythology, the first woman on earth. I bet you guys know it and you don't even realize that you know it. Pandora. Pandora was the first woman on earth. Question number 4. Serena Williams won which major tournament while pregnant with her first and only child? Which tournament did Serena Williams win while she was pregnant with her first and only child? Which one was it? I know she's won so many, but which one? The Australian Open. All right, guys. Question number 5. Which William Shakespeare play is the longest? Which one? Which William Shakespeare play is the longest? I know he's had so many. We all have our favorite, but which one is the longest? Hamlet. Hamlet. Okay. Final question. Question number 6. And this question is kind of a two answer. I'll accept 2 different answers. Okay, it's a little tricky. But what year were women granted the right to vote? What year were women granted the right to vote? Do you know? If you guessed 1919, I'll take it because that was the year that it was passed. But it actually was not amended as the 19th Amendment until 1920. I hope you guys got them all right. Well, that wraps up this week's game. Well, since this show was about education, we thought we'd do something pretty educational, but still fun at the same time. So I hope you guys had fun with it. Now let's get back to the show. Education is so important, ladies. And on Ladyhood, the show, we're all about exalting the great woman. In order to be great, you have to obtain the knowledge. Knowledge and greatness goes hand in hand together. Michelle Obama once said, and I quote, "Empower yourselves with good education, then go out there and use that education to build a country worthy of your boundless promise." Those were wise words by our former First Lady. Very, very empowering. And I'm pretty sure that she's speaking from personal experience because that's exactly what she did. She went out there and earned an education and then used it to empower our country. We can all take a note from her. We're all born with hopes and dreams and goals in life in which we want to accomplish, right? But without learning the basics, like the hows and the whens, then those goals are going to be far out of reach. Education provides a roadmap to fulfilling your dreams, so to speak. When you earn a degree or something equivalent, it's like your secret weapon. It's validating to what you already know. For example, let's say that you've always enjoyed doing hair as a kid, right? And you've done it your whole life. When you go to school, though, and get that master's in cosmetology, it's validating to your skill, to what you already knew. So it's just wise to pursue that even further. Everybody wants that end-game result, right? Huge results, getting all the credit and all the acclaim for achieving something great. But guys, what you have to understand is that it takes perseverance. You have to endure, you have to go through to get to the end, And listen, let me tell you, the journey of education itself, it prepares you to that end goal, okay? So you gotta persevere, you gotta push through to get there. Even if a woman desires to be a homemaker and not pursue a formal career, she should still have some type of educational background, because I'm sure she would encourage the kids to soar at school, and not to mention, how is she gonna really help them with their studies if she's not educated herself? There's nothing worse than being angry or offended at a situation, but you can't even express yourself logically. And what's even worse is the person you're engaging with, they don't even understand your message anyway. That's just the worst. It just gets lost in translation. So having some type of educational background, it just helps you to better articulate yourself so you're better understood. Okay, guys, you've heard my spiel on the educated lady, and as promised, I have a couple of guests that are going to share their views on the subject. I have here my good friend John McClure, the drone pilot. John and I, we go way back. Oh my God. He just reminded me that we go back about 17 years. So we know each other very, very well. We have witnessed each other's journey in all kind of ways as we transition throughout life. But hey, John, how are you tonight?
Doing good. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm great, great, great. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate
No,
you.
the pleasure is all mine. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So tell us, John, what's your educational background?
Educational background stems from between the School of Hard Knocks and just living life. I was one of those kids that wanted to do my thing, do have it my way, and I ended up dropping out of school, but I got my GED. Got us in trouble, and while I was in trouble, I decided to educate myself and got my residential electrician's degree so I can wire up a whole house.
All right,
Um,
okay.
right. Uh, and just during the course of life, if I find interest in something, I'll pick up on it, study it, and that's how I got into, flying my drones. It's just
Okay,
not something you can just pick up and do. You have to learn something.
you do, and that's totally different from what you earned your degree in.
This is so
Totally
true
different.
because I I was doing the electrician thing because hey, this is going to make me money. I'm going to have job security because there's going to always someone always going to need electrical work done in new
Exactly.
construction or remodeling or what have you.
Right,
But
right.
I got into flying drones as a hobby, and then it became lucrative because I was good at it.
So you tried something different that you love too, that caught your
I
interest.
did.
Like it
I
developed
did.
from a
And
hobby into like a career, you know?
absolutely. Absolutely.
So you mentioned though that growing up, you chose to do things your way, not go along the ropes that probably your parents or teachers or whatever was telling you to do. You wanted to go your own route. So do you have any regrets? Like now looking back, do you wish that you would have done something different? Or are you are you happy with the choices that you made?
See, that's the paradox of going in back in time. Because if I was to change something in the past, that necessarily wouldn't lead me to where I am now. And the place I'm in now is a happy place, a good place.
Right, right.
So I regret the bad decisions that I made, but I value the lessons that I learned from them.
That's impactful. That's impactful. And I think that your story can help other people. Like people can learn from your story so they won't make the same decisions that you made. Not necessarily mistakes, but just a different route.
Decisions, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, okay. So the topic that we're discussing on this episode is the educated lady. And I
Okay.
want to know, do you think that it's important for women, I mean people, to have education? Some type of education to be successful or whatever in life.
My views on this are pretty askew because I look at education as like Home Depot. You can go in Home Depot and build a beautiful house. You have people that work in Home Depot that will assist you into finding the things you need to build that beautiful house.
That's right.
It's
That's
up to
right.
you to walk. It's up to you to walk into the store. So you don't necessarily need a 4-year degree to be
Mhm.
educated.
Right.
You
Right.
don't necessarily need to be stuck in front of a computer screen looking at videos all day to consider yourself educated.
True. True.
Education is
True.
important because in order to go forward,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
have to have some type of foundation, and knowing something, aka education, is that foundation. It's a tool, absolutely. Just like social media, you can use it for good, you can use it for evil. Education is the same way. It's a tool.
Very
It's
true.
something
Right. Right. Right.
you have to use.
Well, thank you, John. Thank you. Thank you. I think that we got enough for now. Thank you for sharing your story though, and how you ended up being successful. Going the route that you went. I appreciate you sharing for sure.
Not
But
a problem.
we're gonna
Thank
have you
you.
on again so you can share some insights on some other topics. So just be available for me,
Absolutely.
okay?
Absolutely. I would not hesitate at all.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you, John, so much for your input. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you. Now, everyone, we have another guest, Miss Dora. Miss Dora, she is a business owner. She has all kinds of businesses that I will let her expound on. Dora, hey girl, how are you?
Hey, how you guys? Thank you guys for inviting me on.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for taking the time coming today. I appreciate it.
Oh, of course, of course, of course.
Yes, ma'am. So tell us about your businesses. What do you do?
So, my name is Dora L. Jackson. I am a business owner. I have multiple business that I do own. One of my number one business is credit repair. So, I am a
Mm,
credit repair specialist. I do investment properties also as well. but majority of it is focusing on building credit and also building business credit, which is a necessity that we need, right? We seen that in the pandemic that money wasn't as fluent. A lot of places was closed. So at this time, a lot of people was using their credit, right, to pay for things and get things paid down. So
Mm,
that's what I specialize in is credit.
that's amazing. Oh my God, that's necessary
Uh-huh.
at all times, pandemic or not.
Yes, for sure.
That's awesome. Okay, so what's your educational background? Did you go to school for that, or did you go to college, or what was your route?
So it's kind of crazy because I did go to school. I went to Liberty University for my
Okay,
BA in psychology,
okay,
and I kind of went through a point in my life to where I said, what is something that I really love to do? And I knew it was always helping people, right?
okay.
So I also have a nonprofit. And that's something that really called out to me, right? So I want to help
Yes,
people mentally, physically, financially. So my nonprofit gives to the less fortunate. Doesn't have to be just homeless, but just people who make less than, right? So
yeah.
with my Lux consignment is tied into one to where people who can't afford, to go to J.C. Penney or Macy's to buy clothes, they can
Mm-hmm.
still come to my consignment shop, which is my thrift store, and still be
Okay.
able to shop Lux, right? But
Right.
without the price behind it. So my
Okay.
whole generosity is giving back.
Oh man, that's amazing. That's amazing
Yeah.
because others are benefiting, but you are too because that's where your spirit was calling you to do.
Right. Yes, for sure.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that because a lot of people, they think about what do I need to do so I could be stable, just so I could support my family. But you didn't go that route.
No, no, I didn't. I went the route of what my purpose was because I feel like that, we are all different and God
Right.
put us here for our own reasoning. So I
Mhm.
feel like
Mhm.
that was just my calling. Since I was a kid,
Right.
I always loved to help people. So
That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, I'm sure you're blessed. You blessing others. So that's
yes,
amazing. That's awesome.
yes, for
Okay,
sure.
okay. So I think I know the answer to this question, but do you think that education is important? Do you think all ladies should have education? People, for that matter. Do you think it's important?
I definitely think education is vital.
Okay.
Because education is what we're taught, right? So we can't learn anything if we're not taught it.
Right.
Education is just being taught, right? So you can
Mhm.
teach to people and mentor to them in different ways. Do I
Mhm.
think
Mhm.
college is always the best foot? Not for everybody, because I
Right.
know very successful people who have, nonprofits and have different organizations who, just went to high school, right? But
Right.
they still learned. So
Yes.
I think, yes, I think education, you should get some type of um, certification or some type of entitlement of learning in whatever you're doing because you don't want to go into something and not knowing what you're doing. So yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. I thought I
Hmm.
knew your answer, but I love how you explained it though.
Yes, of
I agree
course.
with you 100%, 100%. How do you know
Yeah,
how to do something if you're not open to learn it, you know?
that's so true.
So, yeah, I think it's so important. All right, ma'am. Well, thank you for your time. I will let you get back to your day. But you be blessed, you stay safe, and thank you so, so much, for coming
Okay,
on the
thank you
show,
guys.
giving us your
Be
time.
blessed. Bye bye.
You too. Bye-bye. Since this subject is so near and dear to my heart, I thought it would be great to bring someone who is so near and dear to my heart. So everyone, meet my daughter, my eldest, Miss Allie. Allie, say hello to everyone.
Hi, I'm so happy I get to be on this show with you.
Thank you, honey. I am too. I'm happy too. I thought it would be very important to get the perspective of different people from all walks of life. So you've heard from two other people who have totally different journeys, but I just thought it would be great to also share the journey of a young person. So here's Allie. She is 14 years old today. She is an eighth grader. What do you feel about education? What would you say?
I feel like education is very important because not only can it like help you like with jobs, but it's just good to be able to know you're set and done with this type of education,
Yeah.
even if it's just math or technology or something like that. I feel like it's just good to be able to have that education, even if you don't need it.
Yeah, yeah. So if you choose to do something else in life that's not necessarily tied to like college or whatever, you should still have that education. It's
Exactly.
important. Definitely. So Allie, she's pretty much always been a scholar, having high level grades, but now in virtual learning is such a different environment for her, but she's still doing pretty well. How do you feel about virtual learning?
Virtual learning has been definitely something different. It haven't been the easiest, but I have been getting along with it. It's because it's so different, it's so hard to just easily switch to virtual learning because I've been doing in person all my life.
Exactly.
So it has been pretty hard and different to get used to it, but I've been
just kind of going through it, going with the flow, making the best of it. True. So what do you like about it?
Some things that I like about it is that even though it's like due by like a certain day or like by Friday, is that you have the entire day to do it. And
True.
And because it's also virtual, you can go back on certain materials like on videos. Or you can redo an assignment, you didn't like the grade, or if you just want to get more practice to study, I feel like that's good to have.
That is good. It gives you more time so you're not as pressed to get it immediately, so you have more time to kind of learn through it. Okay, awesome. So honey, what do you want to be when you grow up?
When I grow up, I want to be an astronomer. So someone who studies space. I feel like that's really good to have because it's like so vast and huge that many people don't know much about it. So I feel like it's so cool and fascinating to learn more and more things about space because we technically live in it.
We do. And like you said, it's so vast. You can learn so much. It's like it's limitless.
Exactly, because it's growing larger every day.
Do you love science?
I do.
Is it your favorite subject?
It is.
It is. Okay. Well, I'm sure you'll do well in it. You're going to do great.
Thank you.
I'm so excited about your journey and all the great things that you'll continue to do. But happy birthday.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank you. It's been an honor.
Awesome. Very good. All right. Everyone, my baby, Allie. So there you have it, everyone. You've heard our reasoning on why every lady should have some type of continued education. Simply having a gift is not enough. Develop that gift, ladies. Push it. In the words of the late, great Kobe Bryant, great things come from hard work and perseverance. No excuses. Let's be great, ladies. And if anyone would like any additional resources on how to further your education, shoot us an email at ladyhoodtheshow@gmail.com. Let's be great. Peace and blessings, everyone. And hello, 2021. Let's start this year off with a bang, shall we? Okay, yes we shall. On the Lady Hood Show, I'd love to promote your business. But weekly, we're going to feature selected businesses to promote on the show. So if you're interested, please send us an email to ladyhoodtheshow@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. To all of our current subscribers, thank you so much for the likes, for the comments, for the feedback. We appreciate you. But let's keep these conversations going. Please share it even further. Tell your friends, tell your sisters, tell your coworkers. Let's continue to uplift one another because we do all need each other. You can find us on YouTube at Lady Hood The Show. Please subscribe and hit the notifications bar. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Lady Hood The Show. Also, we're going to be streaming on the radio airwaves on Street Madness Radio every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Thank you guys so much. Now let's get back to the show. Guys, that will conclude this week's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you all took some valuable lessons from this episode. It's so near and dear to my heart. I'm such an advocate for education. I believe that everyone deserves some form of education. Thank you. Be sure to check out the next week's episode. We're going to be talking about ladies who empower through the arts. You don't want to miss it. Thank you. Take care.